Hello, I'm Austin Rockeye, and welcome to RockWorld, my 2-year-old forever world. I made a video on this world last year, a year into it, so if you want to watch that you can, but I'm going to go over everything again here. So we start at spawn in Snowville. I basically built this so everybody in spawn spawns on this block. It's where I spawned into this world. And it's actually snowing, which I think is perfect for this area. It's just a very snowy area. We've got a pavilion here, which has some basic essential stuff. We have a map of the base. This is the map of kind of what the base looks like, as well as the starter map I was given. Basic dirt pads with some glow lichen around to add light and for slabs, but we're gonna start at my starter house. This is my starter house. This is the banner of Snowville. Very basic starter house. If you come inside, very cramped, but I really love the cozy cramped feeling of it. We've got my original iron armor that I wore, my diamond armor that I wore, furnaces. This is my hodgepodge of useful blocks, I guess. So I love just how cramped it is. Like, you have to get this corner just to get to the loom. I really love just how cramped it is. Barrel here, then we have all of my storage in here. I left this place behind, by the way. Let me put armor on. This was my original starting base, and I played in this from the beginning of October pretty much to the end of December. I didn't want to get too far into the late game, so I tried to stay in the early game as late as possible, but I didn't want to live when it's in a place that's just snowing all the time. So when I just wasn't having fun in the early game anymore, I left all my stuff behind and I moved, which we'll go to eventually. But yeah, this is my starter base. Next up, across this icy path that I made through the ice river, so I had to do something to kind of make a path through here. We have this, which is my cave entrance. I really like the look of it. It's really small, but that's kind of the point. It was one of the last things I made, so I didn't get too much use out of it. This is supposed to be like storage for all the different stone stuff you can get. But when you come down here, you enter this gigantic cave. Yeah, this cave is pretty much everything I needed for this world. It's such a big cave. I've literally, all the materials I got, like diamond, iron stuff, came from this cave. I never needed to go explore elsewhere. And then you just kind of work your way back up here. Then I have all these crops, right? Wheat, potatoes, more wheat, and some glowberries, just for food and stuff. We've got a campfire here, because this is just so much easier than trying to get coal, because coal is actually kind of hard to come by early game. You think you have a lot of it until you need a lot of food, and then you run out fast. But this was just so much easier, just to pop my food here. Plus it kind of fits the, get some warmth while it's snowing outside. Over here we have an igloo, which is where my dog Snowball lived. He just sat right here, but now he's got a home in my new base. But this is his home whenever he visits Snowville. Over this way we have my chickens. They used to live over there, but foxes kill chickens and they can jump over fences. So I've got some cactus and some sugarcane out in the yard. And all the chickens stay in here where they're safe from foxes. We have the cows over here, which if you saw the last video, they used to be in this middle and there were a ton of them, but I had to move them over here, which meant killing them all, because I want to make this like a Christmas area. So I want to put like a Christmas tree right in the middle with some Christmas decorations. Over here we have my villagers. I collected them because I knew all the ones at the village down there were gonna die, just in case I ever need them for anything. Over here we have the well. I watched a tutorial from Mythical Sausage. If you haven't seen him, check him out. He makes good videos, great builder. But I made this for water because with everything frozen over, it's hard to get water and stuff. So I'm just gonna go sleep really quick and then we'll continue. Yeah, another reason why I moved is I hate this place at night because there's no real way to mob proof the ice, and so much stuff, so many mobs spawn on this ice. It's like I never stayed up at night. But over this way, we have some sheep. By the way, the wool around these is so that snow doesn't build up, because snow will build up and then it piles up enough that the sheep can walk over it and get over the wall. But I've got white and cyan sheep because obviously the white wool here and then the cyan in my banner because the banner actually uses a cyan base. But that's pretty much it for Snowville. That's Snowville. Like I said, eventually it's going to be kind of like Christmas decorations, so I'm going to have snowman and candy canes up with a Christmas tree right here in the middle. I also want to build like a castle or something off like on that mountain or over there somewhere that will basically be like a world info center. So it'll just have information on like the whole world. It'd have maps of the entire world plus all the different bases and just information and coordinates on how to get everywhere. So eventually if I ever have people come on, they can they know where stuff's at. The final thing I don't really need to show it off, but the strong code is off that way, but I have another portal for it, so it's fine. But we probably won't check it out because I've not done anything with it. There's this village over here. Now, I think all the villagers have died over here, but what I want to do is transform this into like Santa's workshop. So like Santa's workshop will be like up here, and then like all these houses will just be for like elves to live in and stuff like that. I think it'd just be fun. Add some environment, another small base, could be fun. This is also where I did a little bit of mining in here, as you can see. Yeah, let's head back. The final part of Snowville is the portal. Again, I stayed early game. I built this portal knowing I was going to be moving. It's a design I got online. I forget where. I just found it online and I really liked it, so I just copied it. I literally built this, stepped foot into the Nether to see my surroundings, and then left. I never stayed in. But yeah, that's Snowville. Now we're gonna head into the Nether. Now how in the world do I get out of here? There we go. Now this is where so much of my time has gone. If you're wondering why I've not uploaded many videos, it's one because I just don't really like editing, but also I have been completely revamping my Nether. So if you saw the last video, you saw it was just a portal surrounded by netherrack, and then a netherrack and deep slate tunnel to my new base. But now, look, we're in this room, and I themed it off of Snowville. So you can see I have a house that looks kind of like my starter house, campfire here, we got a spruce tree. I try to make it look like it's a little stormy with snow falling, and of course you have to make it mob proof, so I've got glass above the ice and some white carpet to act as snow. Just keeping it looking like Snowville. I actually do want to kind of flip it and make it the house this way and the exit that way and the tunnel goes that way, but that's for another time. That's so much work because I've been working on these tunnels. Now these tunnels have taken so long, actually so long, that this glowstone here is supposed to be shroomlights, but shroomlights are so hard to collect that I just said screw it and use glowstone instead. So we could go to New Rocktopia, which is my main base, but we're actually going to go to the Dark Oak Forest. Now, I have a video. As you see, this is my nether tunnel. It's really good. Mob proof. You can just go on the ice and you get places really fast. This place is so far away. But the place we're about to go to, I made a video whenever the Pale Garden was added. I made a video where I came out here and I built this base. So if you want to see the creation of this base, you can watch that video. But we just got to go this way for a while, and then we keep going. We turn and keep going, and we arrive at the dark oak forest area or pale oak forest area. You can see again little sneak peek at what is gonna look like. But let's go ahead and come into the portal, and here we are. You can see very mushroom based. There's we'll look at the pale garden in a minute, but yeah, it's just a small base I made when the pale garden and everything was added. So we've got this mushroom, which you saw a smaller version of it in the nether, and then we've got this house which has like a mushroom on it. This is just my starter house for this base. You can see I have a map of it. I've got some like essential stuff in here, some decoration. Then this is all storage, which is useful because you know this is so far away that it's good to have resources and stuff available. Just all kinds of stuff in here. Back here we have wheat. We have some wheat, which is for the packed mud that I used in the path, along with the brown mushroom and some resin. And then finally I built a bridge across the water. Now I know, if I'm remembering correctly, the mushroom was kind of based off a reference image I saw, but I kind of did my own thing. This house was my own, if I remember correctly. That I did build that by myself because I remember being happy with it. And then this bridge, I took inspiration from image, but then changed to be more like dark oak and mushroom themed. Now this bridge comes across the water, but doesn't really go anywhere after that. Kind of just ends here. I also had to clear a lot of trees from around here and from up there. Eventually I might come back and add more to it. But you can see up here is the pale garden. You know, I had to come all this way to find it because there weren't any close to my house in like new chunks. And you can see where like I've mined stuff out. And you see like how gray the sky gets, and that's why I did that in the nether. But another reason why I chose out here is because if you just go this way for a while, there is a woodland mansion here. We're just gonna sleep through the night here and then move on to the next base. So now that we were just there, you can kind of see where the inspiration was pulled for this. I try to make it like look kind of dark in the sky, especially in the pale garden area. What's cool is creakings don't spawn in the nether at all, so I can actually use that for decoration. You'll also see every base has a chest for boats, as well as a place for a crafting table and an ender chest. This leads to the outside though. Since it's so far away, I thought I'd leave an exit. That way if I ever need to travel really far into the nether for something, for new chunks, I can. I wanted flowers around, but mobs will spawn on it, so I use flower pots. But yeah, let's head to the next base. Alright, we're back to Snowville, so now we're gonna go this way to New Rocktopia. Turn here, and here we are at New Rocktopia. And if you watched the last video, again, this was just straight netherrack tunnel, slight turn portal. But now we've got this big nether portal. This is actually what I was gonna do for Snowville. I was gonna make it like the same size, but then it ended up being way too big. So yeah, it's just this big place where you can have, you know, you have your exits different ways. I've not extended out that way. Then there's also this right here to exit into the actual nether, but we're not gonna go out there. It's not really important. But I wanted to put flowers and stuff around, but of course mobs would spawn on them. So instead I kind of did this design with cactus flowers, different sizes of like amethyst, and different colors of candles with like these rocks, and then moss carpet. And they can't spawn on the leaves, and then these are all slabs. But now we can enter the portal into New Rocktopia. Now compare this view. As I've said, I love this view so much. Like the second you walk out, you just kind of get to see my base. Compare this view to the view from my last video. A lot's changed. A lot has changed. So this is like the main path. You can see we've got this, which I actually updated like yesterday because the copper age just came out. So I had to wax these and I replaced all the chains with copper instead of the iron because it just adds more to that copper look. But let's first look at the nether portal. I think it'd look cool if that oxidizes up there, but yeah, I finally got the frog light farm, so I got to replace what used to be shroom lights in there with the green frog lights. We've got a lot of leaves just coming down the side of this. We've got this pond here, which see I put like mud and like all different stuff to texture it. The main purpose for this is to trident to get to my base faster. Whenever I come out the nether port, I don't have to walk all the way, I can just launch up. We're gonna stop at this place. This is for my amethyst, kind of like my amethyst farm. I don't really like the build though. I'm thinking I might rebuild it and make it like a pavilion instead. Because you can see on the inside, I've got chests that's supposed to be storage for the amethyst, but I just use my big storage room, so it's not too useful. If we drop down here, you'll see we have this I collected recently, so not much has grown, but just different layers. Each layer allows you access to the different amethysts around. That way you can actually like collect everything and they can kind of drop through. And then you shoot your way up. And then if you go down this side, we've got another one down in the deep slate layer. It was just lucky if there's two amethyst geodes close to each other. Yeah, it's nice, though I think I'd rather transform it into a pavilion. Now we're coming up on to my base. You can see it splits two ways as we get to the hill. I've decorated this pond more, and we've got my face because, come on, who doesn't build their own face into their base? Especially when like I've got like not a mountain but like a hill right here, and so it's so perfect. It's like Mount Rushmore, except it's only me because I'm the only one who deserves to be there. Anyways, we come up here to my house. This is my main house that I live in. I love this house so much. I didn't actually like fully build it myself. I used a reference image, but I completely changed the block palette and stuff to match my own. And I'm really happy. We got the new Rocktopia banner there. Come inside and we've got a map of my base, which looks so much more full than last year. I'm really happy with it. Got some stuff around. I'm trying to get like armor sets for every like type of protection. And you can see it's, if you watched the last video, there's not much progress has been made. I've got some anvils. I've got another like kind of workstation here with a bunch of banners. This is the new Rocktopia banner. This was an idea for the banner. This is for my shield, which I can actually show you how that looks on the shield. This is for something else, and then this is the design I was trying, but I didn't have the stuff for it and I kind of gave up on it. We've got under the staircase my dragon egg and some books that just aren't anything, just for decoration. If we come in here, we have my furnaces. Just a lot of furnaces so I can cook a lot of stuff. We've got all my like different cooked and baked foods, as well as some like raw stuff. Flour here. You can come upstairs where I have a picture of my dog and cat. Yeah, I've got a resource pack where I've replaced a bunch of the pictures, so I've just got my dog with my cat fighting. We've got Josh and his friends. Every single music disc in the game I have. It took a while, but I got it. We've got Nemo, and then the green one and the pink one. Got my balcony where I can look at the view of my base. Got my bedroom in here with my profile picture, my bed, my home, which I update my maps every June because that's when I first started updating my map. So I just kind of keep it like that. Every June I update it. These are all my old maps, and then yeah, just random stuff. My ender chest, which I'll show off, it's just a bunch of shulker boxes. Literally just a bunch of shulker boxes for collecting stuff. We have my important items, just like, you know, important stuff that you need, you don't want to run out of. Other weapons, all useful stuff. And then finally I have valuables. And let's continue the tour. So we come into here, and this is where we get to the tower. We can come into my attic space, and we have aquamarine, my alley. I don't really know how to decorate this place, so I just put amethyst shards since I kind of associate it with alleys. I decided I would name all my like pets and stuff after like gems or minerals or like just stuff like that, kind of like rock based, which I decided after I named my dogs, which we'll get to. But I did aquamarine because it's kind of like this blue color. Plus, if you've seen Steven Universe, she kind of gives off aquamarine vibes, so I thought it was a really fitting name. Coming to the top, we have the top of the tower made of full gold. Took a while to get this, but we've got some views so you kind of see what's coming up, as well as roof access just to get up to the top. Nice to like sometimes I would just run back and forth up here while thinking about stuff. Back down to these trapdoors, which lead to a cave underneath my base. You can see there's another entrance up there. But I keep a bunch of farms that I kind of want to have quick access to, or that I just want to like build up slowly, so I kind of want them always building up. So we'll start here. This is my lava farm. I got this off of a picture from like Pinterest or something. Very simple design and easy to do, and now I just have barrels of lava. Coming this way, I have an automatic cactus farm, which I had to build a new one. I used to have one of the basic ones with the fences, but I just have this one because it gives cactus flowers, which you saw I used in another, so it's useful for that. I followed a tutorial by Silent Whisper. Pretty much all the redstone stuff is from Silent Whisper. He's got some really good tutorials, so if you play Bedrock and need redstone farms, I'd recommend going to him. I have it turned off right now because there's just so much cactus in there. I don't really need the cactus flowers right now. In here we have 2 bone meal powered farms. Basically it just kind of, because I don't know how the cactus one works, but how this one works, I know how this one works. I forgot where I got this design, but I've built it so many times that I just kind of know it. It just sends signal through here that's always cycling, so this activates bone meal, which grows a sugar cane, which destroys it, falls into this hopper, and then collects. And then I have the same thing up here for bamboo, literally same exact thing. But that wasn't enough, so I built this, which is an automatic bamboo farm. Just bamboo up in these 4 corners. When it hits an observer, pistons activate, drop it down, minecart picks it up, and then these collect. That way I can just get a lot of bamboo and use it for when I need like a lot of wood. Over here we have my XP farm, which I used a different design by Silent Whisper, and then I broke something, and then I went to rewatch the tutorial to see how to do it, and then there's actually this better method which is so much simpler, so I just rebuilt the whole thing because now it actually looks like an amethyst geode versus before it was just kind of amethyst on the wall. Now it looks like an actual amethyst geode just with this farm in the middle. You can get up to the top. It's very simple. You can leave it lit on fire, but I don't like to, so I'll come in here, I'll destroy the glass with my silk touch, light them on fire, close it up, press this button which activates that. You can see I've got a bunch of infested potions. They get infested, silverfish drop, die on the harming arrows, insta die, and then I get all the XP, and it's so much better. That's why I have 100 levels. Over here we have a bunch of mushrooms that are spawning. I actually need a lot of these brown mushrooms, but the red one is overpowering it looks like. And then I have my enchanting table. Proud of this design. I came up with it by myself. Wind charges in all the corners, lapis flooring, and it's just got bookshelves all in the corners. And then we've got this chest for enchanted books, this for lapis, and we've got, you know, all the like stuff you would need for enchanting. We also have some soul lanterns hanging from the ceiling, fully made of quartz. I really like it. I'm really proud of this. I came up with it on my own, and I think it looks really nice. We can exit out that way and take us straight back into the house, or we can exit this way just two different ways to do it. We've got this little pond right here, and then we have this exit out here from the furnaces. Path goes along, like pretty much all the way around my house. Then if we move this way, this is new. I have a task board. This is basically just so I can keep track of everything I need to do in game. Now, what I actually did was I used the new shelf blocks that were just added, because the back texture gives nails that look like the sign's been like nailed into the wood, which I really like. Came up with that by myself, by the way. I always love whenever I come up with stuff by myself without having to look at other stuff. But yeah, and it's just a bunch of different things. Some of it I probably already gone over, some I probably will go over. But then I just got a seat to sit in. We've got this well here, which basically works as my trash can. If I don't want something, I just throw it into there, and then it just disappears and goes away. Then we have my storage room, which, although I love my house, this is where I spend most of my time, because it's just everything I have is in here. See, copper golems are in the game, and I'd love to incorporate them in here, but they just don't really like reach anything. And I actually kind of enjoy organizing. So you can see I have like all the different wood, and here you can see like I literally organized everything inside the chests. So if it's turned, it means it's like overflowing. You see like I've got all the, like, this is where I want the stone to stop, so it's like overflowing. If it's turned, it's just that I have just so much stuff in here, and I still have plenty of room for more stuff. You have crafting tables, stone cutter, and inner chest for quick use. And if I need anything out of that, if I need to craft or cut some stone. In this kind of middle section, I have overflowing stuff. You can see we got like dirt and grass and stuff. Obviously, just a lot of stone. I'm thinking about changing this to chests, like having like double chests stick out with copper chests here and having copper golems sort this, because this is easier for me to just come up, throw my extra stone in, and then let them deal with it. Up top we have even more storage. Wow, surprising. But this is for like, this section over here is for like collectible stuff. So we've got like music discs, pottery shards, smithing templates, which I have every single one, by the way, mob heads, and then trial chamber stuff, because I don't really know where to put it, so I just have the keys and the wind charges in there. On this side we have like armor and weapons and stuff, so like all the different types of armor, all the different types of tools, and here I have like wood and stuff, and like all the like miscellaneous like crossbows, tridents, fishing rods, all that stuff, and then just all of these stuff. And I've got to leave room for the spear whenever that gets added, and then arrows in here with the potion ones. Continuing on this path, we have a brand new build. We have this tower here, which is for brewing. So if I come down here, see, I took the designs of the walls from a picture on Pinterest. I also wrote this book about just like all the different potion recipes and just like everything I need to know for brewing. In case I forget, I can look at this instead of just looking it up. Cauldron here for different uses if I need it. All these barrels are used to store the different ingredients I would need. If we come up, we have storage for every potion, so you see I have them all named here, so you can easily access this one. There's supposed to be one here, but I forgot what it is, and it's one I've never made, so it's just blank. If we come up here, this is where my nether wart is, and you can see with the copper age I've put some copper bars here, and I'm hoping that they oxidize a little bit, because I think they'll look good slightly oxidized. But I can kind of get views all through here, as well as my nether wart grows. And here we have potions I collect a lot of, like regeneration, instant health, harming, fire res, and then I also have infested here because I need a lot of it for the silverfish. And then finally up here we have villagers, because I didn't know where else to put them. I thought the brewing tower makes sense. We also have this balcony up here. but let's go to sleep and continue the tour afterwards. Alright, continuing the tour, we're gonna go right from my house. And we come down here to my dog house. This is where I keep all my dogs. You can see I just have like a wolf army pretty much. Since last time I've added this paw carpet. I changed the food bowl thing to make it like it's just a pot with some carpet on it. And we have just all kinds of stuff in there. I've also added these trap doors to the stairs. When we come upstairs, we have the Council of Wolves. These are my wolves. Each one is going to be kind of like in charge of something. We've got Dennis on the wall there. We've got Max, Lilac, Pebble Pup, and then my real life dog, Harley, Snowball, Blizzard, Shinzy, Skipper, and then I didn't know what else to name them, so I went Lycanroc and Houndoom. I do kind of wish I went with minerals because I could definitely go like iron and coal and copper and name them after that, but oh well, what are you gonna do? They're all supposed to be in charge of something. Like Snowball is in charge of Snowville, which is why he has that igloo. Pebble Pup is like my right hand man, so he can live in my house. Lilac's in charge of New Rocktopia, so she can also kind of just live in my house or live in here. And each one's kind of in charge of something, or will be. Like Skipper is the like commander or general of the wolf army. But then we can come out this way and continue the path. And as you see, this path that goes up. We can go back up here to this like kind of main area, and then we come back here to the garden, which is the backyard area of the storage room. And this is basically for me to harvest all the different types of flowers and stuff. So I've got a shulker box of bone meal here, and I just come here and bone meal whatever I need. Some are different, like this one you gotta like shear the top half of it and then bone meal and then shear the top half like that. Cocoa beans here. We've got all these which are harder to farm. I mean, this is easy. These ones are kind of harder to farm. That one's pretty easy as well. You just destroy it and bone meal the rooted dirt. For these, I picked them up, I placed them in this hole and bone meal, and it gives you a lot more flowers than just bone mealing it on solid ground. Don't know why, but it's really useful. Got this pond which I use sand at the bottom to put like coral and all kinds of stuff. And then these over here are ones you bone meal and they just go out from there. So I can kind of just go down in a path and bone meal everything. And then we've got these which you can't bone meal at all, but I thought they look nice. And then this is just another entrance to it next to the tower. And then this is actually a waterfall that goes down, but we'll go over there later. Leaving the garden and going back down here. Path goes down the hill to the horse stable. So this horse stable hasn't changed much, but the area around it has changed a lot since the last video. So you see I have my original horse Bolt. It's the original horse I was riding around. And then I've done a lot of breeding, but Jasper is my new horse, which I call it that because more so the color of the horse. He's a brown horse, and Jasper is a gem, so I thought that matches, that works. Upstairs is storage, although there's not that much storage I really need, so I kind of just did every type of horse armor in one thing. So this would be leather, that would be copper, then we have iron, gold, and diamond, and then this is for the happy gas, the snowballs, and extra harness. We'll get to happy gas in a little bit. But we have a path for the horses to ride on. Yeah, this is just for me to ride Jasper around. You can see where how I've just kind of decorated the empty space. Anywhere where you'd kind of run off the path, I did like horse dirt. So you can run like over this bridge, or you can come off this way and jump across the water. You see with the water, I did mud on the bottom. I did moss around the edges. It just makes the pond look so much nicer than just being dirt. And then I've got a bunch of like seagrass and sea pickles, and I try to do these like cattails, which I'm sure you've seen all over the internet if you are looking for like build ideas. But you just kind of continue down the path, and of course it starts raining. and just everything's very decorated. And then you come over here where you can jump over the fences. Jasper is great and can jump over all of them. Some horses can't, and so that's why you see there's like dirt around them for horses that have just ran around it because they couldn't make the jump. Yeah, and then I also have all these bits of water around everywhere so that you can shoot out from them. That's the point of all the waters. Up here on this platform we have where the waterfall comes down, and then we have my mine entrance here, which goes all the way down to strip mine level. I'm not too happy with the design. I found it online and just threw it up, but I'm not too happy. I just don't really know how to decorate this. Then through this way we have my happy gas. So this is the like, it's a small tower for my happy gas. You see there up at the top. It's got a really nice walkway under it, like through here. I love this walkway. And here we have a wind charge thing just hidden in those leaves, and I fell down, so I have to do it again. Just hidden inside these leaves. You just press the button and get launched up to the roof where there is yeah, this, which it always breaks whenever you go out of range. But this is Fuchsite, that's how you get to it. And Fuchsite, again, another like mineral or gem or whatever. It always breaks, but the idea is that it presses on the tripwire hook, which closes these, and then whenever you hop on, it like undoes it or something so that you can fly out. That's really cool. If you want to see, I made a whole YouTube video building this and getting Fuchsite in it, and then I also made a YouTube short where I updated these into walls because it kept like suffocating in the wall. And you can see where I have 2 more happy gas who have passed away. We had Buddy, because I just kept calling him Buddy, and then he suffocated in the wall while I was building it. And then we have the second happy gas, because I never gave it a name. I just I threw it in there at the end, and then it also suffocated while I was doing some like cinematic shots. Go watch the video. I think it's actually a like decent video. I'm happy with it. We do also have beacons. I don't think I mentioned that. We have beacons all over the place, which give me like speedness, swiftness, haste, sharpness, regen, and resistance. All the different things I need. I try to split New Rocktopia into like districts, and so that's my main. This is like my main base district, which is I also just call Rocktopia. But yeah, that's pretty much that. So coming from the Nether portal, you kind of work your way down this path. Yeah, you just work your way down this path, taking a detour over here to show these villagers that I have. They kind of just chill over here. They sleep in the bed. They have walls up, and someday they'll probably die, but they haven't died yet, which is good. Okay, come down here, and then the path goes to the left, but we're gonna go straight into the barnyard district. So you can see the path changes to like mud and mud brick, and you're at the barn. So this is the cows kind of just get to free roam here. That way I can just have a lot, and they just kind of free roam. We've got wheat over here, which I used for the packed mud, because my other wheat farms over there are too far away. Over on this side of the path, there's this pond. Again, a lot of these ponds, the reason for them is so I can trident and get around my base quicker. I have sugarcane scattered around, so basically if I collect all the sugarcane right from the middle, I'll get a stack. There's firefly bushes everywhere, so when it's nighttime, there's just like nice atmosphere. Different bushes around. We have the centerpiece, which is this fountain. I didn't know what to do, and then whenever they were talking about the copper age and stuff, it kind of clicked that I should make a copper fountain. And it's like, you know, really new right now, but as time goes on, it'll become oxidized, and I think that'll match the base better. I've got these copper golems, which I just made with you know, made the copper golem. It's like a copper block and a carved pumpkin on top. I used the oxidized copper, so they were already oxidized, and then they turned to statues so quick. If you're trying to get the statues, I'd say that's the way to do it. And then I just brought them to this copper level so it matches the rest of the fountain. Over here we have the sniffer house or enclosure or whatever. So I try to make it look like a sniffer. Inside we have all of the sniffers. You can see what I mean about the colors, trying to like match them. Moss on the ground, and then just colors that match. I try to keep it reds, blues, yellows. Yeah, and then there is actually a collection system as well. You can see I have the different flowers growing around. Back here, collecting all the seeds and stuff that I need to make more of those flowers, so I can make those anytime I need. Working our way around in a circle, we have the armadillos, which were here last video. See, they have this place. I've updated the block palette, by the way, for the... Before, it was like quartz with like diorite and stuff. Now I've replaced all the quartz with pale oak because it just looks nicer. Or it fits the aesthetic better. But yeah, we've got this shack right here. Now, if I remember correctly, I used like an image off Pinterest, but I changed the block palette completely to match the barn. And then back here, yet again, another collection system, which is completely full, so it's not even really that useful. But I have decorated the underground of everything, as you can see, to match the like block palette, the polished deep slate, and the mangrove. Continuing in that circle, we have the barn. This is the main thing. This was in the last video as well. You can see I have all 16 colors of sheep, all the different pigs, and all the different chickens as well. And you can get to it from out here as well. Upstairs we have storage for all the different wool colors, all the 16 wool colors. Some I have a lot of, some not so much from my builds. But then this hay bale has a secret entrance to the underground, where you can see it's collecting eggs, which is completely full on now. And then we have my sheep in here. Basic farm, although this is like, it keeps stopping for some reason. I think it might need more powered rails, so I probably got to get around to doing that. But then downstairs we have yeah, the sorting, which originally it was just gonna be this design and it just fill up the chest, but I made these copper golems because they were supposed to be the statues and they weren't oxidizing, so because it takes a while. So I just thought I'd just keep them down here to organize the chest, so like as soon as wool comes down here, they pick it up, and then they have to find where to put it, and then they can like just barely make it to the end to actually sort it. Continuing in the circle, the path goes along this way and to this entrance, or exit I guess, which leads straight to where the happy gas and stuff were. This area, I don't know what to do with this area yet. I want a place for my cats for the kind of Rocktopia area, so maybe I can build it out here. But I was thinking of converting this into like a beach, because I terraformed all of that because the terrain was kind of messy, so I kind of cleaned it up. And what I want to do is make like a beach area for turtles, but I just feel like it doesn't match too much with, you know, this being like a river and everything. Especially I might come by and modify the entire river. So yeah, if you have any ideas, let me know. But back to the barnyard, the last thing in here is the beef farm, which I like the idea that the barnyard is kind of run down. It's not very like upkept. So this side, so everything in here is like very run down. You see this has like the same like pale oak with diorite in it. But from the other side, we'll run through this really quickly. This is how you enter the barnyard from New Rocktopia, or from like the Rocktopia area. So from this side, I actually did quartz texturing instead of diorite to make it look kind of like it's being kept up with, because Rocktopia is supposed to be like this nice looking area. So the front of this barn is upkept so that it looks nice to the Rocktopia area. But this is the entrance to the barnyard from Rocktopia, and you can see upstairs in it I actually have a bunch of bees that just kind of fly around, because this is a bee farm. If I didn't say that already, This is my bee farm. So this upstairs is just for decoration, just for look. So as you're coming up to it, you can kind of see the bees flying around. And then this entrance, I've got the pink flowers, symmetrically placed, and then try to make it like a circular look with the trapdoors. And then you can see in here, I kept with like yellow and orange flowers, glowberries to add light, and then even resin to make it look like honey, like it's spilled everywhere, or like in places from the bees. Same thing in this, but you can see it's not really collecting, like everything's falling on the ground because I have a collection system, but it's like completely full. I tried collecting some honey, but this system doesn't work as well for honey. Stairs, like I said, just kind of decoration, right? Cactus flowers, so that because you can place them on anything, but they can still pollinate from it. So yeah, just add some decoration. That's really it for the barn. Back in front of the barn, we're gonna turn left now and head this way. And kind of like I said, the barnyard's kind of like gets like neglected. Like it's still upkept enough, but it kind of gets neglected. And I want to continue that this way, where as you get further this way, everything gets more neglected. So you can see this bush is kind of like grown up the fence. This lamp is oxidizing compared to all those which are like upkept and look nice. This one's oxidized, and I might make that one like slightly, and as you get closer it just gets more oxidized. But this one I'm just waiting for it to fully oxidize. And then there's these stepping stones in the water to get across to this little island over here. And this is my starter house. So this is like my starter like base. But yeah, so this is my like starter island. You can see this nether portal here, which is like run down. I'm trying to make it again like the neglected thing. I'm trying to make it like very neglected. Over time this just gets more and more overgrown. So you can see there's trees here now. A tree is actually grown on top of the house. The nether portal has like completely like fallen over. Now this is where I came into the world. Whenever I came from the nether into this space, I came from this nether portal and set this up. And this was just all like flat. There was a village over there. There was a village over there. But now you can see like, especially like this side of the base, it's just so, yeah, so much build, so many like builds and stuff on it. You can come inside to the actual interior, and you can see this is a map of just like this space, as well as this is the map like very early on. So this is like my earliest map I made of the base. You can see where I started right there, and then where my house was getting built, as well as the village that was surrounding it. The village is down there. Yeah, you see I actually have left some stuff behind. So here's some more rotten flesh, I guess. Yeah, this is my old mining area. That's my starter island. And then as time goes on, it's going to get more and more neglected and more run down. Now that we're back at the portal, you can see the path kind of goes around it, so you can go either way, or you can walk through the nether portal if you want. But we're going to start working our way south. So over here we have a library, which is where all my librarians are. And the idea is every single book in the game I can get. That's the idea. I want to be able to have everything. Got some paintings up there. You can see I've got unbreaking and mending, boot enchants. I have it like all organized into like what kind of enchants there are. So like these are helmet enchants, these are trident enchants, things like that. The actual building itself, if we take a look at the building itself, I did watch a tutorial because I was trying to look at the reference image, but I really wanted the amount of depth that the build had, so I just watched the video. I changed the block palette up slightly, not too much. Like I added the white and the copper roof, but definitely kind of watched the tutorial. I wish I remembered what it was, but I'm sure you can try to find it if you want this. I did the interior all myself, apart from the chandelier. I watched a tutorial for that, but this interior I did all myself, and I'm really happy with it. but I do need to change it because if I trade with the villagers too much, they're gonna block out their trades and then they can't reset it until they sleep in a bed. So I'm trying to figure out a way to like kind of give them like their own rooms, like the ones downstairs will drop you into a room downstairs, you know, where you're just where only these two are down there or only these three are down there. Like that, so they can sleep in their bed and have access to their lectern because they keep like getting mixed up on which one's theirs. The only issue is whenever you come upstairs, because I have an attic space but it's not that big and I don't know how you would get to it. Oh, I forgot I gotta wax these now. But yeah, I'm happy with how this interior is, and the fact that I can I can even get the curses if I want them. The mace enchants are up here now. Yeah, then I have all the different like enchanted books and stuff. If we continue south, we kind of leave New Rocktopia technically, but not really because it's still kind of part of it. We go across this bridge and we enter the farmer village. So this is a village. I basically destroyed a village that was over there and rebuilt it over here. So it's just massive wheat fields, a couple of spots for like flowers, potatoes, beetroot, carrots, and then we have the town center area. I've opened up some of these for the villagers to get in because they want the crops so bad. The original idea was that I'd have beetroot villagers here and potato villagers in there, wheat villagers in there, and carrot villagers in there. Just like, you know, be able to trade all the different stuff with the villagers easily. But again, because they lock their trades out so fast and need to sleep in a bed, I thought it'd be better if I just let them kind of free roam. The only thing that sucks is that this was supposed to be where I could trade for golden carrots and I can't really do that. So I'm gonna try to come up with ideas to decorate this interior. Hopefully I can figure out what to do, but right now I don't really know. You can see I have paths that lead out of the village this way, which is where the village used to be, and out this way. But I don't really know what to do in these areas. But you can see like just how big these are supposed to be. I've got like some decoration in it with the scarecrows. I have the bees flying around because whenever they pollinate, it actually increases the rate that the crops grow whenever they fly over it. So that's kind of what I've done here, except now like pigs and stuff will spawn inside of these, like where I have the flowers, which isn't great, but oh well. But if I launch up, you can see just how big this area is. I'm happy with how it turned out, but you know, I did this so like early on. Yeah, I just wish I knew how to make it better, I guess. That's pretty much it for New Rocktopia, really. Like this, you can see there's a lot of empty space. Like there's more I need to do down in this corner. But what's really neglected is this side of the like island, I guess, because it's surrounded by a river. Yeah, this is very neglected. I've not really done much with it, and I'm hoping next year this is filled out more. You can see I have this like area for fishing, but I've not done much with it, so hopefully I can. Oh, I also didn't show off this is built off like this kind of like boulder thing, and inside is for the mushrooms to grow that they're not really growing. I also put a bunch of copper torches around my base because they just look nicer than the regular torches. Like the light is the same, it doesn't look too much different, but it does blend in a little better. There we go. I forgot to update this map. That's supposed to be my eyes, but I forgot to update it. But there's one more thing I need to show off that's technically part of New Rocktopia, but technically not. And that's over here. I have some of my like bigger like AFK type farms. And I'm gonna build a factory over here which basically transports everything from my big farms to the factory so I can easily come grab it. In the last video there was kind of just one drop down, but now I have 3. So we have this one for my skeletons, so I can just go like straight to everything I need. You know, see I have storage here with, you know, bones and arrows. I actually use these bones so much for like bone meal and stuff. Yeah, this is the sorting system, and what throws stuff into the lava. You can see I tried to make it like a fossil in here with the like coal and stuff around. And then up here is where it actually happens. You can see there's iron golems keep spawning in here. Oh no, I just picked that up. This is just like one of those automatic trident killers, so you just turn it on and it bounces the trident around and kills whatever's in there, and then it counts as you killing it, so it drops the stuff. But anyways, it's just the trident killer. There's already another iron golem in there. Again, it's that like fossil design with coal in it. This is how you get to the other farms, but we're gonna go through their entrance. I basically just have a way to get to every farm from the other. The reason why there's iron golem spawning is obviously because I have an iron golem farm, which is new. I didn't have this last time, or last video. So a lot of the iron I first got went to the design where I built everything out of iron. So the iron golem spawn in here, and then if you come down to this floor, you can see into it, floods into here. Down here is where all the villagers are. So I just got, you know, a bunch of villagers just all over in here. And then you go down, and then this is where you collect everything. So you see how many poppies I have and all the iron I have. And then this goes into where you get rid of this, where I have to keep it on because glow squids will spawn and they'll clog up the machine. I throw that in there, you'll see it starts making its way into this. And then this just dying just kind of makes it to where it fills up. I believe I got this from a Silent Whisper, and then this is how you get to the other farms. Finally, the last farm I have is my gold farm. So you hop down here. Yeah, this is my gold farm. So basically you flip this lever, which places and unplaces a powder snow, which activates so the portal keeps turning on and off, which spawns zombie pigmen. Zombie pigmen come down here and the trident killer kills them. And yeah, then you can get good XP from this, but then you also get rotten flesh and gold. I have an enchantment table here. I use this, not early game, but like somewhat early game. It was my best form of XP, so I was, before I had like my villagers, so I was using this to enchant all my stuff. This is what burns everything. If you come out here, you can see I designed everything like you can see with netherrack, so it kind of feels like you're in the nether. I did everything I could out of all the redstone I can out of like gold blocks. That's how you get to the other farms. And if you come down here, this is another way to get to the other farms, as well as the gold and the rotten flesh. The only problem with this is that the gold doesn't really gold's kind of slow to come in. And then through here is all the other redstone, which I should probably update and make like netherrack and gold and stuff, but that's a lot of work and I don't want to break anything, so I probably won't. But yeah, back up to the top. That's basically it. Again, I'm gonna turn all this into, I want to turn all this into like a pale garden, and then build a factory here made out of like pale oak and resin and deep slate, and it'll be like this like spooky like factory area. But now with all the copper stuff, I'm tempted to make it out of copper, because I think it'd be so cool, you know, this like copper factory and there's copper golems walking all around, not really doing anything, but just kind of walking around. But I feel like the pale garden approach is more unique. I feel like this like big pale garden that you have to like a forest path that you walk through, creakings around, so you gotta be careful. And then you make it to the factory, which is still like spooky, surrounded by pale forest or pale garden, whatever. But I mean, yeah, that's my base. Not too much left to show off, but that's New Rocktopia. So from here, we're gonna head this way. It's not too far, but you still gotta fly to it, so I don't really count it as part of New Rocktopia. But you come into the swamp, and this witch hut has become a witch tower with so much skulk on it. So basically, this is a witch farm. This is a witch farm. So you can kind of enter through the bottom there, but this is kind of the main entrance I use. And it's a witch farm, like I said. So you flick this lever, and it activates the a trident. Witches spawn inside of here, get pushed to a corner and die to the trident. And then, so there's not XP lagging, the skull catalyst is here and turns the XP into the skulk. I got this design from Silent Whisper. And then we have, this is all the sorting system. So a witch farm is supposed to be used for redstone, but as you can see, I have way too much of that. I built it for gunpowder, and as you see now I have way too much of that because I've actually been using it for glowstone. As I said, shroom lights were really hard to get for my nether tunnels, so I just AFK here for the glowstone, and so it's easier to get, but it just takes a long time of AFKing. You can see I just have so much of everything else, and then anything else that can't fit gets thrown into the lava. If we come up here, you can kind of see inside there, and you can kind of see inside here. Kind of have to mine that to get through here. And then you can come up this bubble vader, and then this is where I AFK at. It's like the AFK spot. So I literally try to make it look as much like a witch hut as I could. So you have the cauldron, the crafting table with the mushroom, and then my ender chest and bed. So I can sleep up here if I need to. Though I usually just stay right here. I usually just stand right here and I'll put all my stuff in a shulker box in case I do somehow die. Now there's another area further that way, but I've got another portal for that one. So back into the nether we go, and I think this year of RockWorld really has been the year of the nether, as I've already shown off that way. So now we're gonna go off this way, because this way is to the nether fortress. Now I am gonna actually flip the, I was talking about flipping the Snowville portal. The plan is, you see to the left here, this portal goes to the stronghold, but the plan is that this goes straight to where the Snowville portal is. So instead I'll have one of these nether tunnels I built go this way, go off to the left to the portal. This will be closed off, and then instead the entrance will be like right here, so you'll turn left slightly earlier to go to Snowville, and then you can take that immediate right into the stronghold. I just think that works out better. But off this way is my nether fortress, which eventually I'm going to try to turn into a wither skeleton farm. So it's good to know where this is. Plus, if I ever need blaze rods or anything. And every corner kind of has their own wood color. So that side was dark oak because the dark oak biome is that way. This one is spruce because the Snowville portal will be through here. That one doesn't have anything. And this one is jungle because in the overworld, when you travel this way, there's actually a pretty big jungle that you go through. But if we stick to the left, we'll get to our next destination, which I missed. It is kind of difficult. I want to find a way to like make it to where like you're able to easily stop. But you arrive here, which I actually recorded a video building this and the lighthouse that I'm about to go to, but I just never got around to editing it. We can look at this more whenever we come back, because now we have the lighthouse. This is a lighthouse I built. I built this stone island for it to sit on. You can see there's like a campfire here. And the idea is because there are 3 resources here that are important. The most important is this coral reef around us has the, as you see there, if I got my spyglass, that pink coral right there. The dead version of that is what I use in my paths in New Rocktopia. So coming out here to collect those is important. So having another allows me to fast travel, as well as terracotta and sand is also important to have. And that's basically all this is, just a area to come to collect. So I thought I'd build a lighthouse. As I can have my nether portal, it gives me a place to sleep while I'm over here. I have a map as well. And then there's this floor. These floors after this, I'm like, I don't know what to do with. But up at the top is the balcony with the light at top. I can fly off and you can kind of see a better view of what it looks like. But yeah, that's pretty much just the point of this, to collect resources. There's a village out there that I was using for raiding, but I think the last time I raided, most of the villagers died, unfortunately. But that's all this is, just a lighthouse, fast travel to collect resources. But back in the Nether portal, you can kind of see what I was going for, right? The, you know, the sky. You can see the lighthouse, like kind of light behind it, and then the stone island that it's built on. I use like this glass thing that I'm sure you've seen other YouTubers use to like make it look like it's water. And then this side being the desert, this side being the mesa. But now if we swing left, because right would take us back to New Rocktopia. We're gonna go quite a ways this way, and then a long way this way. And we make it to this bastion, which I took over. Had to slab this entire thing so that mobs didn't spawn in it, and then I blocked off any entrance on the side so that mobs can't spawn in there and come out. But this is a froglight farm, so that is a magma cube spawner. You can see I've got this like glass tank around it. If we come down here, there's an iron golem there. The magma cubes that spawn see the iron golem, jump into here, die to the powder snow until they're the smallest version, and then the frogs eat them, and you get frog lights. That's pretty much everything for RockWorld. Back to the overworld. I just want to finish by showing off the texture packs I've been using. AK Hotbar, I don't know where I got this from. I've had it since like 2021, but this is basically what just changes my hotbar. So you see how my hotbar is like a little more see-through and like has like the rainbow or like RGB on the XP bar. That's all that one changes. Rock Guy and Harley, there's this website called Minecraft Painting Creator, and in there it's really easy. You just select your version and then you can apply personal pictures, and then it'll automatically put it into a texture pack, so it's really easy. Finally, I have Invisible Item Frame. I'm sure there's thousands of those packs, but it basically just makes item frames invisible, so whenever I use them in my storage room it looks nicer. That's all the texture packs I use though, so everything else is completely vanilla. I think that's it for RockWorld. That's pretty much everything. I've covered it. I'm really happy with this world. It's, you know, I've had this world for 2 years, and I plan on keeping it for as long as I'm playing Minecraft. I plan to be playing on this world. As you can see, I've like been building more base. I build like multiple bases so that if I like get this base to a point where I'm finished with it and don't know what to do, or I have an idea for like a different base I want to build, I can stay in the same world, which is why it's RockWorld. I can just stay in the same world, move somewhere far away, and make a new base. That's kind of like the idea and the concept behind it all. I think that's everything, really. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave it a like, subscribe. Although it doesn't matter. I'm probably not gonna be making YouTube videos. I'll be honest. At the very least, you can expect a yearly world tour video the first Saturday of every October. Let's do some final vibrant visual shots of my base in a creative world. And yeah, I mean, if there's anything else you guys you want to see me build in this base for next year, any ideas you have, anything, just leave it in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see the video from last year, I'll leave that on screen, as well as every time there's been an update, I've made a video in this world. That's something I might continue doing. I'm not sure. I didn't do it for the Copper Age, which just came out, but that's because I've got this video and there isn't really much I did with it. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed. See you next year.